Hello everyone, Joe Follico again for Insignia Futures and Options. In today's quick tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to build a future spread using the InsigniaTrader Pro platform. So let's get started. Once you've logged in, come up to the menus and click on the new widget and scroll down to the Spreads menu choice, choose that, and that will open up the Spread Builder window. Here is where you'll enter the symbols for the spread you want to set up, and there's three ways to do this. The first way is if you click directly into the symbol field, it's going to bring up a submenu with market sectors. So here you could expand on these and scroll through and search for the commodity you'd like to use and then add it to the symbol. Another way is if you know the commodity symbol, you could just manually type it in. And then the third way, which we'll use for this example, is if you just know the name of the commodity you'd like to trade, you could just type that in. So we're going to use corn, so I'll just type in corn. And as you can see, it populates with only corn related futures contracts. Starting at the top of the list, this is mini size corn contracts, which I would like to work with the full size, so I'll scroll down. And I want to do December for the buy side. So I'll click on this green circle here with the plus sign. That's the add symbol. And it will add it in for the buy side. Sell side, I'm going to spread this against March. So looking up here, I could see what the format is for the corn symbol. So I could just manually type this in. Hit enter on my keyboard, and that will instantly generate the future spread symbol for you. To add it to your quote board, just again click on the green circle with the plus sign, the add symbol icon. When you do that, it will bring up a little pop-up menu, and this is just simply asking you where do you want to place that symbol. The default choice will always be at the top, is your main quote board that you use, but you could add it to any open window for quotes that are on your screen, or you could even add it to create a new quote board or a new depth of market window. But for this example, we'll use the existing quote board that's there, so click that. When you do that, the spread window will disappear and the symbol is added to my quote board. All new symbols, be it a spread or not, they will always be added to the bottom of your list. So if you had a long list of symbols here, you may need to scroll down in your list to find the symbol. Once you find it, you could of course move it wherever you'd like to place it in your quote board, but again, when it's newly created, any symbol will always be added to the bottom of the list. Now you could see this is the corn calendar spread. This above it is the actual symbol that the exchange recognizes, and at this point you can now trade this. You could buy it, sell it, you could view the current price history for today's trading session. And then if you want to see what the margin requirement is for this spread, just click on these three horizontal dots and then choose symbol info. That's going to bring up the contract specifications for this spread, and at the bottom you'll find the margin requirements. As of this recording, the initial margin is $303 and the maintenance is $275. Keep in mind that these are subject to change. Again, these are just as of today's recording, but this will show you the margin requirements. So we could close out of that. And again, this will also bring up a very common misconception. We get a lot of clients who ask that they think that you have to enter a future spread as a symbol to get the margin requirement reduced and make it recognizable as a future spread. That is not the case. And what I mean by that is you can simply go ahead and enter this spread leg in, as it's referred to, which means you would create two orders. You would go ahead and buy the December contract. Once that got filled, you would go and then sell the March contract in a separate order. So you have two separate orders. But once both of those orders are filled and the positions are added to your account, the margin requirement would then be reduced to the spread margin requirement that I just showed you. So again, you do not have to enter a future spread using the symbol to get the spread margin requirement. That is not necessary. So just keep that in mind. Again, that's a very common question we get asked. Another common misconception too is that some clients think that they could spread any futures contract against another contract. They have to be related. They have to be recognized by the futures exchange to get that reduced margin requirement. And let me show you an example of what I mean by that. Again, we'll come back into the spread builder. And I'm going to add two symbols that are definitely not related. So again, we'll use corn for the buy side. And I'm going to put in gold for the sell side, which obviously is no correlation to corn. So what you'll get here is you'll get no results were found, as opposed to a symbol being generated like before with the corn. You'll see this question here where it's going to say, would you like to create it? And if you click yes, it's going to search for an exchange symbol that's related. Try to find that for you, but in this example there is no such spread, corn and gold, so it'll search for a minute or two and then it'll just come back and say no results found. We don't need to wait for that to happen because again we know, well here, so this is that's not a spread. So again, if you type in two symbols here and it does not immediately generate a future spread symbol for you, that will mean that it is not an exchange recognized spread and you would not be able to trade the spread using that symbol. Again, I could certainly trade corn and gold. That's certainly, I'd obviously have to place those orders separately, but of course I would get no margin reduction because those two commodities are not related in any way. So again, to get reduced margins for spreads, they have to be exchange recognized. And then, like I said, you can enter those using a future spread symbol, or you could leg into them using individual orders. Either way works. So if you have any questions on any of this, leave them in the comments below, or feel free to contact our offices directly. We'll be happy to assist you. Thanks for watching, and happy trading.